if this is the Pastime Paradise podcast, right? It's like, what's up, PP Nation? We're live.
PP Nation.
Or what's up, PPers?
What's up, PPs?
Yeah.
To all my PPs.
All my peeps. What's up, my peeps?
Okay,
That's it. That's what's up, peeps. There you go, the peeps.
I think,
and then we can make shirts with like the peeps, like the marshmallow peeps.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's up, my peeps?
What's up, peeps? No, that sounds dumb.
I think that was the start to the podcast already. I think that whole first part was.
What's up, peeps? How's it going? This is the Pastime Paradise podcast. My name is Aldrine.
This is Kahai.
And this is Aaron.
Welcome to the Pastime podcast. Paradise. I'll do it again. This is the podcast, I feel like. Alright, okay. What's up, everybody?
No.
Welcome to Pastime Paradise podcast. This is Aldrine, like I said, and we got Kahai and we got Aaron. Welcome, everybody. This is our brand new podcast talking about pastime and paradise, I think.
Yeah, well, I guess what is the point of this podcast then? Why is it called Pastime Paradise?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we're three dudes who enjoy the luxurious life of having tons of hobbies, right? And we want to share those hobbies with everyone. We want to talk about, like, just things that we enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? Like, and not even just hobbies, but it's like almost anything. We call them like rabbit holes, like anything you just dive into and you get into. So
I say luxurious because as I'm a lot older than I was when I first started our first podcast. I now found out that time is very expensive, and my hobbies now take so much time, and that's currency in my life now. And I've never once thought about it that way, but yeah, growing up, like I was pretty lucky to have all that time and to be able to be into so much stuff, and I can't wait to dig into it.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing, right? Like, people work and they're like, oh, any free time I have, I can do my hobby. And then some people, they retire and they're like, I don't have any hobbies. What do I do now? So it's fun to just have a bunch of hobbies already. And I don't know, I think we're all the type of people who we don't stick to one thing and is like, I'm just going to get super good at woodworking and that's going to be my hobby for the rest of my life. It's like the week to week we talk to each other and it's like, what are you into this week? And it's like, oh, I'm into this thing. So kind of our chance to share that, right?
Yeah. Also, we live in Hawaii, so just for people who are just for context, I guess. Yeah, like it's sort of like three guys who are into things, but we also live in Hawaii, so that gives us sort of like a unique perspective. And also you'll notice like some verbal cues of like being from Hawaii too. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Ho brah,
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny because like nowadays, I've noticed with people who are on social media, like if you assume the role of being from Hawaii, you play it up like a lot now, right? Like
if you're pride, man, you gotta have pride where you're from.
If you're like local, then you kind of exaggerate the pidgin, which is not necessarily how we talk, but there are certain things that we say that are definitely Hawaii, but yeah, not everybody talks like that.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, therefore, that's why we named this podcast the Pastime Paradise Podcast, because we are three dudes who enjoy the joys of pastimes, hobbies, and things of the like. And also, we live in what we consider as paradise. So a lot of people would consider as paradise. So welcome everyone, one and all, to the Pastime Paradise Podcast. You are now one of our peeps. right, Kahai?
Yeah. And then Aaron came up with the name, right? And I think something that I also like that Aaron mentioned is like paradise, referring to us living in Hawaii, but also like making a place for other people to share their hobbies too. Is like hopefully we make a community where it's like just people who are enthusiastic about, you know, different stuff, and then they can share and kind of enjoy the company of other people like them. So yeah.
Nice.
Also, music is a really important part of what we are all into, and so and Pastime Paradise is also a nod to Stevie Wonder. So yeah.
Right. Love the layers. So should we for the people, and I'm sure not everyone knows, or all the people listening knows who we are, should we like introduce ourselves individually, like who we are and like maybe one thing that we're into?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay. I am Aldrine. I am into ukuleles.
Maybe we should mention that the fact that that we did have a podcast before.
I was gonna segue into that afterwards. For the people who don't know or who have never heard of us, who are like, what is this podcast all about? It's basically for that. My name is Aldrine. I play ukulele. We used to have a podcast with Ukulele Underground called the UU Podcast. And now we want to do this. We want to start this podcast to talk about all the other stuff that we are into. So sometimes we'll talk about ukulele, but oftentimes we'll talk about all the other stuff that we're into, because we're not just into ukulele, although we're very into it, especially, you know.
Being a professional musician,
being a professional ukulele player, I kind of have to. I don't want to seem like, you know, I'm forced to do it. I love the ukulele. I'm in love with it. I've been doing it since I can remember. When I first held it, it's basically have been the love of my life, and it's the constant and one constant in my life that I never ever changed my feelings on. I've always loved it. Every time I play it, it brings me joy, and that's the one thing that I'm most passionate about.
Yeah. And that's the thing too about us, is that we all play music. We play multiple instruments, but we all play ukulele too. So yeah, it'll probably come up, but that's also not I was kind of laughing because I just remember like on the old podcast where it's like we had an episode where we only talked about our hobbies, and people were like, boo, get back to the ukulele. So it's like, instead it's flipped around this time. It's like, no,
that's why we're giving them more of what they want, baby.
We had some listeners who were like, oh, come on, I want more ukulele. And other people who were like, can you please talk about your favorite Christmas movies or TV shows? And so, yeah, if you're that listener, we know who you are. This is
the pod for you.
Yeah.
That one guy.
One specific person.
So why don't you introduce yourself, bud, and tell us what you're into?
I'm Kahai. I'm into, what am I into right now? I'm into a bunch of stuff.
What are you most into?
What am I most into?
Yeah, what's your one thing? Because when I said ukulele, that's like my one constant that hasn't changed since I first got into it.
Yeah. I mean it's like a couple, but it has to be like music, and I do play ukulele. I like playing ukulele, but guitar, ukulele, any instrument, and it's just fun to pick it up and play. And I don't think I'll ever give that up, you know. We talk about, or we'll possibly talk in the future about giving up hobbies, or when you have to put a hobby down. Looking around my room, I have a ton of hobbies that I should probably officially put to rest, but you know, they're still hanging around. But I think music is the one thing that will never be put to rest. So yeah.
Nice. What about you, Aaron?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like out of the three of us, I'm the one that goes least like in depth into any one hobby. So I dabble a lot. But I guess, I mean, I feel like the one through line for all of the hobbies that I'm into is that it gives me a chance to either be creative or to, and I guess it's kind of the same thing, right? Like be introspective. Like I think about what is important to me or the things that are happening in my life through the hobbies that I'm into, I guess. So music is definitely one of them, being creative and also like thinking through the things that have been happening in my life. But in the past, I've been like really into running, just exercise, cardio kind of running stuff. And especially trail running, that was like one of the best ways for me to get into my own head and explore, just because you're out there on your own, just by yourself, being with nature. And so yeah, so things like that, I guess music has helped me to think through my thought processes and express myself in that way. And then also things like running, and I don't know, even down to like just like daily routines, you know, it gives me a chance to like just be quiet and think about things, and then express myself in a way that kind of reflects what's going on with me at the time. So yeah, so a lot of different things, but the main I guess the main through line for my entire life has been just being creative and helping other people to be creative. So yeah, so hopefully this podcast inspires some of that in other people, or allows other people to share their thoughts and feelings in their own ways through hobbies or whatever you're into.
I would argue that you actually do get into stuff as like hard as me and Aldrine, Aaron, but it's just that me and Aldrine, I think we jump in really hard at first. Like when we get into something, we get into it really fast and really hard.
Yeah.
I feel like you like will take your time more, but then when you get into it, it's like, oh, okay. Because like even you know, it's not a hobby necessarily, but you've made things or done things, and it's like I ask you like, why'd you do that? And you're just like, I don't know, I just wanted to do that. And it's like we talk about too, like kind of there's a creative itch, or just like an itch that it's like, oh, I can't do anything else until I finish this thing. Like I can't even focus or think about anything else until I get this out of the way. So I think that's also a part of it, right?
Yeah, so hopefully like with this podcast, we're trying to collect people. Eventually we want to have guests on and stuff, but we kind of want to create a community of people that feel like, okay, at least I'm not weird, you know? Because all of my favorite people in my life, I feel like, are like that, right? Where they feel like they can't live if they don't do the thing that they're into, you know? And whatever that thing that they're into is at the moment. So so yeah. I recently heard a quote about comedians, because like comedians are all kind of like that, but it's basically like you shouldn't do comedy unless you feel like you're gonna die if you don't do comedy. Like you don't do stand-up, you know.
You don't do it for fun.
yeah. That's the only type of comedian that is successful. So like if you're not like that, don't do it.
yeah I think we were at your like bachelor party, Aaron. All of us were talking, and it's all your friends, and then we kind of brought up the point too, that where it's like you're a magnet for that type of person, where it's just like everybody in that group could be like, what are you into? And it's like, oh, I'm into, you know, it's like
whatever it is, making craft coffee, right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just like one person who's like, oh, I make craft coffee. It's like multiple people were like, oh yeah, craft coffee, and how do you make it? And
have you ever tried this thing or whatever?
Yeah. And then
this obscure piece of equipment that only coffee makers, like people who are into making coffee, know about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I heard about that. Or yeah, I tried it once, but I didn't like it.
Yeah. or talking about making food, and it's like, oh, what do you do about this, or how do you make this? So yeah. Something I want to talk about is like, I think we have to bring up, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, the original name for this podcast, right? The original name for this podcast was supposed to be, or when we said like, oh yeah, we should make a podcast, let's make a podcast together, and then we said, or I think Aldrin
the first suggestion that came in.
I think you came up with this idea, right, Aldrin? The first
Yes.
thing was, we can finally say right?
We can finally say podcast.
Yeah. And people are gonna hear this name and it's gonna be bleeped in the name, but then that is a part of it too, where it's like, I think this podcast is gonna be a little bit more uncensored, a little bit more,
It's more raw, baby.
yeah.
yeah.
In our old podcast we kind of joked about it, but for real, I think this one is gonna
Right.
be a little bit more.
Yeah, we used to be Jim Gaffigan, just talking about Hot Pockets and stuff like that. Now we want to be like Eddie Murphy in Raw,
Whoa,
right?
whoa.
Just unfiltered with the red suit.
Yeah.
We're pulling no punches in this podcast, right?
Yes. We're going full heel in this podcast. Is that?
I love it. I
Finally.
love that we
Finally.
we got the maiden fuck out of the way, basically, right? So now we can just
Yeah.
carry on with the rest of the show.
I don't know if I like that, what you just said, maiden fuck. But yeah, I guess that is your warning now, because I think in our past podcasts we were pretty family friendly. You know, not all the time,
Yeah.
but pretty family friendly.
We
And
kept it pretty PG, man. Like we talked about, we said no profanity. We talked about no politics, none of that. It was very, very family friendly.
yeah, so this podcast is PG-13, where it's like a couple swear words sprinkled in here and there. you know?
Yeah. We're not sailors, and we just like, you know, we say the F word after every other word that we say. But you know, we do want to be authentic with you folks on this podcast. That's all we're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah. So again, to reiterate, this is not the UU podcast. Okay, just for the people who have tuned in and they're like, "Oh, it's those three guys. Like, I should go like ask them ukulele questions and stuff." It's like, this is not the UU podcast. So just letting everyone know this. Oh, sorry. I'll say it one more time. This is not the award-winning UU podcast.
Yeah, I guess that's also something, right? We're no longer the best ukulele podcast.
Oh, I mean, you know, we can talk about ukulele in this podcast. Therefore,
Possibly.
making it possible to once again reclaim the ukulele,
The best ukulele.
podcast award. Yeah. So you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah.
We've never withdrew our name from the running.
It's like, one of our secret goals, right, is this first episode is no longer the number one ukulele podcast. And then in about a year's time, we can go back to being the number one ukulele podcast.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
where is our award for the 2 awards, by the way? We won twice. We're not just a one time, we're a multiple time award-winning podcast. Or we were.
I feel like maybe
But that's
they're
not
like,
this podcast, so
That's no, not at all.
I feel like maybe, it's like we were voted for that, we won, and then they actually watched our podcast, and then they're like, nah, maybe these guys don't deserve the awards. maybe we don't send it to them.
we're not gonna waste shipping money on these guys.
Fools.
It's true, because the podcast is hosted like in the UK or something, right? So it'd be pretty expensive for them to send over the award.
Yeah, and we did get in contact with them, and they seem like great people, but just we never got it. So maybe third time's the charm, right? We're gonna maybe the third time we'll get all of them together as a bundle. So I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, like a lot of our friends are ukulele players.
Yes.
So part of one of the goals of this podcast would be to get some of our friends who are prominent professional ukulele players on and see what else they're into. Because nobody talks, like everybody has like the Taimanes of the world and the Jakes of the
Right.
world on their
Right.
podcasts, and then they only ask them about ukulele stuff, basically, right?
Yeah, same old generic questions. You know, you're gonna see a Kalega meow. They're gonna be like, oh, so tell us about Mach 4 or whatever, right? No one asked the real questions.
When did you start getting into the ukulele, and when did you know that it was something that you really wanted to do?
Tell us
And
about
then-
your ukulele journey, Kale. Yeah, no one wants to ask them the real questions like, hey, so how much you bench, bruh?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Or what character do you use in Mario Kart?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Or,
You know,
yeah,
or-
what's
or like-
your setup for Mario Kart?
Well, what do you think the One Piece is, Kale?
Oh,
He's into lots of other stuff too, guys.
I think the One Piece was the friends we made along the way. You know, it's that'll be the true ending of One Piece.
I'm gonna burn the ship myself if that's the One Piece. I cried when the first boat burned, but I'm gonna burn the second boat myself if the One Piece is the friends we made along the way. Because I sunk in about 20 years into that show now.
Hey, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting into a tangent already. But I was gonna say, how many shonen? Okay, me and you are both into Shonen Jump. How many Shonen Jump? Great anime, great manga, but they do not have a great track record of finishing their shows good.
No.
So I don't know. I wouldn't put all my money in that One Piece boat.
Dude, I was just talking to my friend Kaniho about this, that like Dragon Ball should have ended at Dragon Ball. Like
I think
at
so.
the cost of not having Super Saiyans, I
Mm-hmm.
think Dragon Ball should have ended at Dragon Ball when they first beat Piccolo. And
Mm-hmm.
if you guys don't know what that is, and if you get all you guys know is the Super Saiyans and Vegeta and all this, just you're missing out on like the OG Dragon Ball and where it should have ended.
How many times have they done like a reboot and said like, oh no, remember that last season? That wasn't
my
canon
God.
anymore. We're gonna take it back. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna make it good this time.
See,
It's a
see, this
spicy
is just,
take.
Yeah, this is just a preview of you know, just and a moose bouche, if you were to call it, of the things that's coming up in this podcast. Just the golden nuggets of insight into things like Dragon Ball and One Piece.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
What are some of the things that, because we want to have audience participation as well,
Right.
so what are some of the things that people can confidently ask your opinion on, and you would have like a strong opinion?
Ooh. One Piece, Dragon Ball, ukulele, I guess. The One Piece trading card game, and that's it for me.
Making matcha.
Mickey Matcha, yeah. I mean, I won't argue with you. I'll just tell you you're wrong. That's all. If you make stuff wrong, like for the people who order expensive, like ceremonial grade matcha just to make lattes, just leave the room, please.
It's like we're already. Oh my gosh, people are listening to this and it's like, what are they talking about? One Piece, Dragon Ball, matcha now? What the hell is
It's the
this
first
podcast?
episode. It's just letting people know what they're in for.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just strap on, enjoy, buy the ticket, enjoy the ride. That's all I'm saying.
It's like another thing I think you could talk about, right, is wrestling. And I wanted to say too, is like that's the thing is like old podcast listeners will remember our good friend and one of our favorite we used to say the fourth member of the podcast, Mike. And so when you and Mike would get together and talk about stuff like wrestling and then just go off, it's like that's pretty much what this podcast is going to be about, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh my god! I mean, talk about tangents. That's tangent master. is Mike Odo.
at 2:00 in the morning and be like, oh man, Mike, I really want to talk some more, but I'm falling asleep standing up as we're talking. I have to go. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's somebody we definitely want to get on, right, is Mike. We want to get him back on and talk about just now we can. Before we had our limiters on, we were waiting our weighted vest, our weighted clothes, but now we can finally just say, okay, let Mike off the chain and go like, okay, Mike, you can do whatever you want, you know.
Open those gates.
Yeah.
Rock Lee.
Yeah.
Rock Lee, open those gates.
It might be a surprise, but Mike knows a lot about a lot of different things other than music theory.
Yeah. I think that's what makes him also a great like person to work at the music shop, right? Because people go in thinking they'll buy like, oh, I just need a cable, and then they spend an hour talking to Mike about something totally different, not related to instruments or gear or anything. And they're like, oh,
I didn't know I was
man.
going to talk about Chinese medicine here.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, I really like that Mike guy. I want to go back to that store. I only bought one cable, but next time I'll buy a guitar or something. So yeah, Mike is great.
Yeah. I think we started talking about like this bass player from Instagram or TikTok that we were watching, and then next thing you know, we're talking about like pressure points that you can in the body that you can massage so you can get rid of certain pain. I'm like, how did we get here?
Yeah. I guess that too, right? Is like we were thinking about bringing on our friends who are also professional ukulele players, but also friends who are just like us, who can talk about stuff. And we've been talking to these friends about making this podcast, and it's funny, like when we mention it, they get just as excited. Like I've told some friends like, oh, this is our idea of the podcast. And like one of our friends, Mark, is like, oh man, I'm so excited. I'm going to listen and I can't wait to hear. I told him like, oh, I'm going to talk about what I do to make coffee. And he's like, oh, I'm so excited to learn how you make your coffee, guys. So having those kinds of friends actually on the podcast too.
Yeah. So it like the audience, I don't know. If it feels weird starting a podcast now because it almost feels like this podcast doesn't really have a chance because AI is coming and like, you know, everybody is moving to video and everyone has a podcast now, like all celebrities have their own podcast now. And so like the fact that we're even starting this just means that we're doing it because we want to.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be doomed to fail if we weren't award-winning podcasters.
I guess we have a leg up on all of like the celebrities who now have a podcast.
Hell yeah. Do they have best ukulele podcast? No, and we got 2 of them. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're already award-winning podcasters in our own minds.
Hell yeah. I mean, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that feels so good.
I think, you know what, guys? I say we go like a whole year with just making audio podcasts, and our first video is like about putting in our nomination for best ukulele podcast. It's like if they have to make it where it's like best video ukulele podcast, is like that's our first video.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is to be able to do this in video format as well, but
eventually,
it's funny. Yeah, we're starting with the minimal viable product, and this is what you guys get. So sorry.
I feel like we should do video when there's things worth to showing you guys videos on. You guys don't need to see the video of just us like talking about the good old days of being an award
and brainstorming about what this podcast is possibly gonna be about.
Yeah,
we don't even really
know.
Need to see that. So if you're actually listening to this podcast, like thank you, because we don't even really know what it's supposed to be about yet, but part of it is to get some feedback from you guys and to find out what you would want us to talk about or what the format should be. And as we morph into what this podcast is going to be, it's you know, you guys can take some credit for that too.
Yeah, so this is for the people who just want to get to know us, you know, like and for the people listening to this, thank you. If you should choose to skip ahead to the more established episodes, we won't blame you. But this is the origin. This is the origin story. So, right, Kahai, if they're like, maybe we should skip to, when people say like, oh, just keep watching One Piece. By the time you get to episode 200, it gets really good. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They've decided what the characters are supposed to be like, and
yeah, there it
format.
is. But you don't watch One Piece from episode 200. You watch it from episode 1, and this is it. This is your first step as you got maybe shipwrecked into this paradise. You're like, oh, what is this place? This is your first step into the shores of the pastime paradise.
It's like we talked about making like a Patreon too for people to join and join the community and stuff. Should we call that the shipwreck? Is like you're not here by choice, but it's like, oh, I guess if I'm here, I'm gonna make the best of it. Just think of us as your Wilsons, right? It's like, if you got a shout out into the sea, might as well shout at volleyball. So
yeah, there you go. That's a great way to think of it.
Yeah.
And we're the Wilson ball that talks back. And that's all we do, actually, just talk back. We don't actually let you talk. You just listen to us talk.
Doesn't he like throw the ball into the ocean? He gets mad and throws it. He's like, ah, and then he's like,
so there'll be tons of cases of people throwing their phones like in the ocean. They're like, what happened? Like, I was listening to this podcast.
what is this? What is this trash take that they're talking about? Like One Piece and stuff. Oh, I can't believe it.
I know. I happen to like ceremonial matcha lattes.
Yeah.
He told me to get out of here.
Talking about Shonen Jump having bad endings, I'll have you know, Naruto is my favorite ending of all time.
Yeah. I love the zombies. I love when my ninja anime has zombies in it. Yeah, sure. Said nobody. And if people are like, what? There were zombies in Naruto? Yes. If you didn't get that far, congratulations. You missed the shittiest part of Naruto.
You know what else is my favorite part of our bringing back a trope from our old podcast?
What's that?
Is me and you talking about stuff like this and Aaron just not talking in the background.
He's the color commentator, man. If he is,
Yeah.
It's his opinion on these things that people actually want, because he is representing the everyman.
Yeah. Is our next episode gonna be about marathon running, and then me and Aldrine are just sitting back here being like, oh yeah, that's really interesting.
Hey, Kahai, I'd have you know that I am actually thinking about doing
possibly considering
the Spartan race next year.
1/13 of a half marathon.
I am...
All right. Okay. All right. I've now separated myself from this pack.
I've always been interested in Marathon, the video game. I think I'm gonna install it on my computer pretty soon and try that out. That's what you're talking about, right, Aaron? Yeah. Trail running. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just yesterday actually. My friends are my card friends of all people, my trading card friends are trying to convince me to do the Spartan race over on the island of Oahu, and it's like 13 miles, but we're like a group of 10 people, so I'm like, okay, I just need to do 1/10 of the work. That should be fine, right?
Aaron, have you ever done a Spartan race?
No. So that involves obstacles and other things that make it even harder.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was something. Did Mark ever do that? Like, I think we talked to him about it, but I don't know if he ever did that, or he was just looking into it.
I know that they've held a few on our island, so I think, because like Mark was into CrossFit, and a lot of the CrossFit people are into those Spartan races. So yeah, probably he probably participated in one or two of them.
Okay, I should start a program right now called Couch to Spartan Race, and it should be should document my journey along the way. So I have basically 9 months to get into Spartan shape, guy?
I think you do that. You do the couch to Spartan, and I will do couch to couch, where I will just stay flat and just stay the same. Yeah.
Who is that? Who's that one like honorary Spartan who like betrayed the Spartans and showed the showed the backside or whatever, like the back alleys, so that they could beat the Spartans? The traitor guy. Who's that guy?
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about, but I don't know the Spartan's name.
Yeah,
but,
I'm that Spartan.
I mean, yeah, that goes to show you what type of tangents we will get into, right? Going from all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
So.
Yes, you can already feel how this podcast is going to be later on.
Great.
So,
if you're still
of,
listening, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So what kind of segments are they could they expect from us in the later episodes beyond this first introductory one? Kahai.
Yeah, I think we mentioned like guests. We're excited about having guests on.
Mm-hmm.
I think Aaron mentioned we want to have audience participation, and maybe we'll have audience members on, or even or I kind of want to have maybe like audience suggestions of like things we can talk about. We definitely want that, but even like audience suggestions of like, hey, I think you guys would really like this, check this out, and then maybe we can talk about, after checking out whatever they suggest, we can come back and talk about it, so stuff like that. But then something from our past podcast was songwriting challenges, and I think that will be something we'll be pretty excited about getting back into. It's just a good way to stay creative, right?
Yeah, so we might change it up a little bit, but we are doing the same kind of within the same spirit of the songwriting challenge from the UU podcast. So we usually put out some stuff that some parameters that people can write songs about, but who knows, we might change it up a little bit just to fit the Pastime Paradise podcast vibe.
Do you think it's like we get people listening and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna do the 9-month challenge with Aldrin too. I'm gonna try and run a Spartan race in 9 months. And so they'll be talking to us and be like, hey, Aldrin, are you still training? I'm training. It's 4 months in. How are you doing?
Oh, I mean, you can check back 1 month in and find out that I'm not training anymore.
What is below a Spartan race? Is there
the color run where you just run?
Yeah.
What's below that?
Fun run. Yeah.
What's below that? I don't know. The Aloha Run. Like the Great Aloha Run, where like that's the one that I've done. I guess a walkathon. But I've done the Great Aloha Run where like I started running next to Aaron, and then I'm like, nah, just go ahead, guys. I'll catch up. And I never did, and like the people I did catch up with are like the ladies in the stroller in the back, and like that's the people who I quote unquote ran with.
It's like my nephew is in elementary school, and it's like if they do a walkathon, it's like I'll be like, yeah, I'll come with you, and then I'm gonna talk about it on my podcast. It's like, hey guys, I just did the elementary school walkathon with my nephew.
Something to be proud of, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The one enticing thing is I guess at the end you get that Spartan medal thing. I'm like, damn, that looks pretty good. And I guess the promise of like how good I'll feel in 9 months if I actually stick with it. Like I crossed over into my 40s a year ago, so I'm kind of in this journey of like trying to feel better in the later stages of life.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you still have you get medals or you get stuff for marathons? Do you have stuff like all your things that they give you?
Yeah, I have like a bag full of the medals.
Hey, don't say that, bruh.
You just toss them on the side.
Kick it under my bed.
I know.
No, you know who I really want to have our friend Russ on this podcast too.
Yeah.
Who we met from like Ukulele, and but he actually got into running around the same time that I started getting into running, and he has done, because he lives in the Bay Area, he would do at one point he was doing like runs pretty much every weekend, And so he has more medals than he knows what to do with. So I don't even know what he does with all of those medals.
We're joking now, but maybe it's like if you do one marathon, you're like, yeah. You ever see that meme where it's like the second place winner is like kissing the girl, shooting the champagne on themselves and stuff? One
place winner.
Yeah.
Like third place winner, I think. Yeah.
Like your first marathon medal, it's like, yeah, and then by your fifth, you're like, okay, yeah, it's cool, but yeah, just add it to my
I don't
bag.
have a medal yet. I do have a Great Aloha Run shirt that I got after finishing Great Aloha Run.
Yeah, finisher shirt.
Yeah, well, finisher shirt. That's all I have. I don't have a medal or anything like that, but I wear that shirt like a medal.
Yeah.
Just like I wear the I survived Hurricane Iniki shirt. It's a medal.
Yeah. Aaron gave me a trophy after our last podcast, and it's I don't know if this is a good thing or a sad thing. That is one of the only trophies I have ever. And then it's like if people watch our podcast before, or I think even this podcast, if we ever do video, I don't know if I'll ever show myself. And I used a doll that one of our viewers like lovingly made and sent in. And I always used it for my avatar, but I have it at home, and my mom was like, you gotta put in a case or something. You gotta make sure to take care of it. So that trophy and that doll are my two prized possessions. What is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Pretty much that. Or what about you, Kahai? Like, what kind of things could audience members ask you about? Or if they're also interested in, what would you be interested in talking to them about?
Yeah, Aldrin mentioned matcha, and I think we already have a plan to talk about matcha and coffee. I'm very into coffee. It's kind of ironic because recently I haven't been making coffee because I ran out of beans. I need the perfect bean to make the perfect cup of coffee.
Yeah. Nothing less will do.
Yeah. I'll show you. I have something planned to show you guys how long my coffee process takes. And you know it's bad when in the middle of making your coffee, like somebody looks at you and is like, you're really taking that amount of time to make just one cup of coffee? Is like a look of disgust of like, ugh. So that's
Wait, so this is like it's mostly, I know you've done cold brew in the past, but it's mostly espresso?
Yeah, I pretty much espresso. And then even talking to Mark about making coffee is like I have kind of a portable espresso machine that I started off with, but pour overs too. And like the more I talk about this, the more embarrassed I feel, and the more I'm like, God, this just sounds
pride,
so.
man.
It sounds so douchey. I try to play up.
Do you
like,
also have a
ooh.
handlebar mustache?
No, I just have a handlebar mustache on my finger that I put in front of my face like a tattoo. Yeah.
So do you feel the same way that I feel about like ceremonial grade matcha being turned into like just sweet lattes? Like say you got like the best beans. You made a really good espresso. You did the whole thing. You like measured everything. You made an espresso, only to like put it over ice and then like turn it into like a pumpkin spice latte. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna add flavoring, if you're gonna add a bunch of stuff to it, then you can just make espresso with like okay beans. It doesn't. In fact, dark roast beans. The reason why companies do dark roasts is just because it's easier to burn the shit out of beans. It's easier to burn beans than to like make it light roast or medium. Yeah. So that's why you see dark roast beans. But if you're gonna make espresso and then just make it into a pumpkin spice latte, just get normal beans. This is why I'm like ashamed to say how much money I spend.
I feel the same way as you, because like right now there's a shortage in matcha, and because it like blew up within the past like year or two, and like all these influencers are like, like hitting up a bunch of like the matcha places that I hit up to like to get good matcha, only to turn it into like these flavored, like sweetened and iced and milk and stuff. Like you're diluting all that, like, all the good stuff that makes that matcha special. So why don't you just get regular matcha? It's the same exact thing, but no, like in order for clout, they gotta, they gotta show like, oh, I got this from whatever, So now, like, a place like, say, Ippudo, like, I used to love getting like matcha from Ippudo, but I would have to wake up like in Hawaii like at 4 a.m, just so that I have that like 5-second window to pick up like
It's
to
a
pick up
drop.
some matcha. Yeah, dude, no, for real. There's like drops now, which is insane, because back in the day you could like just go on the website and get like 100-gram bag or something, and it's totally fine. But now, and 100-gram bag of pretty good matcha, like ceremonial grade, but it's not like super high or anything. You can get it for like $50 or $60. Now it's like almost like $100. It's almost doubled in price because of the the demand and the low supply. Only for those people who can or do buy them up to turn them into like all these crazy sweet like concoctions that like don't even make sense for that grade.
Yeah, like good coffee beans too. I spend a lot of time making like a really good espresso for like my parents or something, and then they're like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna go back to my K cup." It's like, yeah, just enjoy your K cup then. Don't. I don't want to
This
spend
reminds
time.
me of my Vio from. Is that what it's called? Vio, like the
Nespresso.
Starbucks thing.
But like really good coffee, it's supposed to taste like fruits or have different tastes, and it's not supposed to just be like that burnt kind of bitter taste. And if you like that, that's totally fine. But yeah, you don't need to buy expensive coffee.
You can say it,
That's what you
Kai.
like.
You can be like, screw those people. You can say it. I know you want to. Go ahead. I'll give you. This is the platform right now for you to just voice your opinion about those people.
Like you brought up a good point of like people buying it and then making it into like sweet drinks and stuff. And it's not necessary. But then the other thing too, I think, is like, if they're buying it to do that, and if like other people see them doing that and are buying the beans, the good thing is that like at least the companies that are making these nice coffee beans, like hopefully they get business and stay in business too. So it's like, that's the one upside, is like, okay, I guess at least they're doing that. But God damn it, I want my bag of coffee beans, and I go into the store and it's all sold out, and the barista is like, sorry. They know me. They at my favorite coffee shop, Inkofa, they know me. They know what I look like, and I order beans and they put it off to the side for me. So
Sorry, this Filipino guy with a weird hat with the feathers on it like came and bought everything. I don't know why.
yeah.
He said he's trying to prove a point. Is what he said.
Yeah.
Specifically, do not sell to a guy named Kahai.
But he's not even gonna put water on the beans before he grinds it. He's just gonna grind it dry.
He said he was gonna over roast it. Is what he said.
He's gonna put it in the oven and roast it more.
This is. He said he's just mad at the people who sweeten matchas. And he's gonna punish the coffee people.
This is the first episode of the podcast and the last episode of the podcast. I'm so pissed off. That's it. Done.
See, for those of you folks who used to listen to the UU podcast and like, I like the ukulele talk, but I kind of like the banter between Eldrine and Kahai and how to just like try to go at each other. This is it. This is the podcast.
Well, guess what? It's like all banter, or it's all
It's
we scraped off the ukulele part, and then it's all banter.
Not one ukulele question. I love it. I know we will later in the later episodes and stuff, but I like it. It's very refreshing to not have to talk about ukulele. I love uke, like I mentioned earlier, but it's nice talking about other things that I'm passionate about, like matcha and One Piece.
Yeah. I think you used to say that we'll give you our opinions, right? And I think that's what this podcast is too. It's like really opinions, and then if people come to us for advice about certain things, I don't know if we can give advice really. It's just like we just want to share what we really like to do,
Yeah,
or what we really want to talk about.
let's stick to that. That we, you guys have Q's. We do not have A's. We have O's.
Yep.
We have Q's. We have O's. You have questions. We have opinions about those questions, and that's what we'll give you. So don't take it as like professional advice or whatever. We're just telling you what a bunch of dudes on the internet think. So think of us as credible as a random anonymous Reddit user.
Yeah.
But we're your friends.
Yeah.
Right, Kahai?
Yeah.
Can everybody be your friend?
We are shipwrecked.
Prove it right now. Tell us your phone number so that people can call you and tell you good night.
We are stranded on the same desert island. I think that analogy is really good, right? Because like when you're into something, sometimes it feels like nobody's into this, but then it's like, oh my gosh, there's this desert island full of weirdos who love talking about the same thing I do. So hopefully that'll be what it becomes.
Yeah, and feel free to tell us what you guys are into, and we can comment on that as well. Because you just never know. You're like, oh, nobody would be into this, but you'd be surprised what the three of us are into.
Yeah, or I guess also like what our past interests can align to that too. So yeah.
Right, because you could be thinking like, oh, these guys would never be into like butterfly knives, right, Kahai?
Yeah, never. No.
Or keycaps and switches for mechanical keyboards.
Yeah, what else? These guys would never be into over-engineered Japanese stationaries.
It's like when Aaron brought up the keycaps and keyboards, I was like, hey, I feel like I'm getting called out and this is turning into a roast. I don't... Let's not do this anymore.
Yeah, if you guys are like, ooh, these guys would never be into close-up magic.
Yeah.
God.
just name all the things that Kahai's into.
Yeah. High-end imported headphones that are open ear only.
These guys would never be into stuff like that.
God damn, guys. Why you gotta call me out like this? I'm not. I think I'm pretty certain I'm not gonna show up on camera. But if I was on camera, you would see how bright red I am. I'm blushing so much right now. You ever felt like you're seeing so much, but it's like, ooh, too much. Don't look any deeper.
Yeah, see, that's why I control what's online. What I put out online, Kai. I don't put everything out. People don't need to know about some stuff.
Yeah. I'm not online at all. I have zero social media. And still,
you tell me stuff. Don't tell me stuff then,
Why are we doing this podcast? Why am I giving you more ammunition?
Because I do have a platform, Kai, to tell people the things that you tell me.
Yeah.
And that is the Pastime Paradise.
Yeah, that's episode 1.
What's our sign off? You guys, we should have every good podcast has a good sign off. What's a sign off? What's a cool sign off, Kai?
I don't know.
Or should we make up a word like Excelsior? Maybe do that.
You just said what's a cool sign off, and then said, hey, should we make up a word like Excelsior?
Hey, that is. If you do not think Excelsior is cool, then sir, go look in the mirror.
I think that's the thing too. Is like when you have a dork card, it gives you ability to make fun of other dorks, right? So yeah.
Because the thing is, I grew up. In the late 80s and early 90s where being open and vocal about any of this stuff gets you bullied. But now it's cool. Now I know people that think Excelsior is cool. Back in the day, it's even if they did think it was cool, it's oh no, that's some nerd stuff I don't want to be a part of. I don't get beat up. I don't want to say Excelsior is cool. But now Excelsior is hella cool, Kahai.
Back in the day when I was pulling napkins out of my sleeves, people used to bully and make fun of me, but now they're like, ooh, do that magic trick, Kai, do that.
Is it like that?
Okay.
Yeah. Show us this one person who said, "Do that again."
Okay.
Can we have him on the podcast?
Yeah. We'll have him. Okay.
I love this. Kahai, you can't. When are we gonna get a video of Kahai so we see the bright red?
Never. Oh my gosh.
He has to animate his avatar to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. You should do that.
Yeah, I had plans to do something, but now it is gonna be solely my avatar.
Thank you everyone for listening to the first episode of the Pastime Paradise podcast. Hold on to your hats. We have tons of stuff in store for you folks. We have lots of stuff planned. We have some great discussions, some great guests. I hope you guys look forward to all the fun things that we want to talk to you guys about, and please join us on this amazing journey, because we are very, very, very passionate about the things that we're into, and we want to share this passion with you folks, and we want to find and discover new passions. So if you guys are into something that you feel like we should check out, please let us know, and maybe that can be a thing. We can check out like an audience pastime that we might want to dive into, right, Kahai?
Yeah, or if you guys have questions about our pastimes, send it in. Hey everybody, this is Kai from the future. Just wanted to let you guys know that we set up a Patreon. You can leave us comments or questions on the Patreon, or you can join the Patreon membership and get access to a Patreon exclusive Discord. Also, if you're a Patreon member, you can listen to episode 2 right now. New episodes will be coming out every week, but Patreon members can listen to them 1 week early. We'll also have some bonus episodes and some other things coming out soon, so be on the lookout. If you want to join the Patreon, head over to patreon.com/PPPod. That's patreon.com/PPPod. 3 P's and a nod. Thanks for listening, and I'll let Eldrin close out the first episode. See you guys later.
Alright guys, so without further ado, it's past our time. We'll see you next time. Bye.
That was pretty good. That was a good send-off.